Hey, what's up? We're back in the garage. Still pushing, trying to get this cars done and getting ready for a chili bowl. So let's jump right back into it. All right, so we're back in the shop. We got a good way. We got the car started. Got the SC Mod completed. I think we're gonna go ahead and push forward with it. There's a couple of adjustments that I do want to make on the car. I'm going to take a step back per se. I don't think it's really make it too much of a difference, but we want to go ahead and get it right. So let me show you what we got. All right, so I've already worked on this a little bit, just out of curiosity. One of the biggest things that I did not like was the way the suspension was moving whenever we would compress on it. So when we would go like this tire would, so now it's more planted. It's staying where it's supposed to be. Earlier when I did that, the tire was flexing because of this turnbuckle was too high. So obviously it changes the roll center. So I put them upside down, as you can tell, added a spacer. Now they're kind of where they're supposed to be at. So the movement of it's not too bad now. It's actually kind of normal. You can squeeze this tire, pretty much stays where it's supposed to be. If you squeeze on this car here, same thing. If you look at that hub. So now we're mimicking that. Not only that, now we can take this spacer up and move up if we want to change the roll center. We have the option to go on this side, the second hole here, and then we have adjustments inside the hub. So overall, we should be in a good point. But I did show a couple of pictures over to my boy Kevin. He says he had a couple of concerns with that. I agree. So what we're going to do is probably going to modify the shock tower and add holes on the bottom side, a little bit more traditional, kind of like the sprint cars and late models and stuff like that. So like that, we have that option to use the shock tower just in case we come into a situation where the suspension in the rear ain't working right. Or while we're there, also want to make another adjustments to the rear of it. So we were talking about how close this spring is to that turnbuckle. Well, if you look at the shock tower, it's actually kind of leaning forward. So if you take this loose here, you can spring it back a little bit straighter. It's kind of hard to tell on the camera here, but we're going to go ahead and modify this rear body mount since it attaches here and here. So obviously these two attach together here. So that's what adds our strength to the back. So we're just going to bring this out about 3 to 4 millimeters out this way, so it just puts that shock tower straighter and fixes this problem. So that's where we're at. On the front end, I think we're good. Everything looks really good. The only thing that I don't like on the front end is this, how this looks, and this strap. But we got a solution for that strap, and I got to think of something for this. But ultimately, right now, functionality, it's been working fine. So we might just run with this. I don't know. We'll find out here in a minute. But first, we'll get to this. All right, what we got here is the drawing of that rear body mount. As you can see, this is where it mounts to the shock tower, and this is where it mounts up to the back of the transmission. So if we click on this, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it turns blue. So all of this is grouped together. So we'll go ahead and just modify it here. We'll ungroup it back to the original layers. Now, if you click on it, you can see the adjustments that we did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down 4 millimeters along with the holes, and then we'll just reattach it right here. We put the phone down, so I got to select the holes and this bottom section so it can move together like that. It'd be a really quick fix. All right, as you can tell now, I don't know if you can tell, this and this is blue, and then the two holes are blue. So what I'm gonna do is bring it down together. I think I'm gonna go 3. Let's see here. So let's I think we'll go 3 down. We'll select that. Now you see the gap here. And then all we gotta do is put these two together, which will go here. Those together. There it is. Just like that, we made that modification. Now we'll go ahead and export this back out into the machine and it'll be ready to go. But before we do this, we're gonna go ahead and modify the shock tower. All right, so what I decided to do, instead of messing with the shock tower, I think the shock tower will be fine, and I think the camber links will be fine now that we moved it. So just for the sake of saving time, I went ahead and made the front bumper mount. All right, so this is the one that we adjusted earlier, and now this is what I made. This is the same as what we use in the front of the late model, but same thing, I made it just a little bit, everything a little bit bigger, so we can have it and try it out. You can tell it's kind of noisy in here because I have the laser fired up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the same concept that we've been doing. So we're gonna go ahead and transfer the files over to that computer, run the laser, do a couple of cutouts, and compare it to the car. See how everything fits. We're on the Surface Pro here. As you can see, I got those 2 highlighted. We're gonna go ahead and open that, and it brings it, both of them into to this program. So we're just gonna lay them out, and we're just gonna do a quick cut on both of them, and then we'll see what it looks like. We've got both of our pieces framed up. We got it pretty much set to cut. All the settings are right there. And then we're gonna frame it out on this piece of cardboard. Make sure we have room. It overlaps a little bit, but the bottom piece is a little mount, so we should be fine. All right, so we're pretty much set. We're gonna go ahead and start this. There it is. All right, I already took the other piece off. Let's check out the difference here. As you can see, that's how much bigger we made it. It's kind of what we're looking for. This is what the good thing about having the laser is, just we're able to test everything out, and then we'll go from there. I'm not really gonna be able to show you until we do the final piece here. So that goes there, as you can see, and then there's that little gap right there. Well, now with that gap being there, we'll be able to pull the shock tower back and put it in its place, and it should make this all straight. So I think that we'll be good right there. All right, so this is where this other piece goes. What we're doing is just trying to get rid of anything older that was used previously from another kit. It's interesting. So what I'm trying to do is trying to retain this in the original spot, but it seems like we need to go a little bit bigger, and then I need to do some rearrangements of these holes right here. Instead of trying to use that like that, we're gonna go ahead. As you can see, the holes do not line up perfectly, so they're off a little bit. They need to go in a little bit there, and then we'll go over here to the piece that was here. And these themselves are too small as well. So we'll bring those out, those in, and then our distance seems to be off as well. So we're just gonna make adjustments to this. I think the rear body mount is good, so let's go back to the... All right, you're gonna have to excuse the noise in the background. The laser's still running. So we got this highlighted here. Let's see. Yeah, so we're gonna highlight this right here. And then we're gonna nudge it over 2 times. That's it. We're gonna repeat the process here. And then we're gonna do the opposite on the other side. Might be too much, we'll do 1. And that's it. We'll go ahead and export it out, save it, and then we'll cut on the laser again. I got the second piece here cut out, the revised version of it, and then let's see here. Get that. I think that's gonna get as close as. I think that's gonna work. Yeah, that's pretty close right there. So I can't hold it straight, and for some reason the camera isn't focusing. It is dead on. So, all right. So at this point, we're gonna go ahead and put all the 2 pieces into the computer for the router. We're gonna go ahead and program all the cuts, and then we'll go ahead and cut these 2 pieces, put the car back together, and then we'll design a front bumper. This right here, this doesn't really match up that well. I mean, it's off a little bit, but at the same time, I don't like this. So we're gonna go ahead and utilize some of the kydex that we have and cut it out from the laser. So we have all our tools path created. Check it out here. There it is. So that's what it's gonna look like. We're gonna jump over to the machine and set everything we need, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I have the final product here. We'll go ahead and take it out of this little stencil per se, if you want to call it, and then clean up all the little edges. I made really small tabs this time, so it'll be less to clean up, and then we'll try it on the car. All right, so we went ahead and installed everything on there. This doesn't look any different other than just a little bit longer here. Now, we did come across a problem where our I don't know what you want to call this cross member for the turnbuckles in the rear. I did not notice, but the hose were not the same. We tried to drill it out, and you know what? I'm like, you know what? And we got the machine running, so we cut out our own. We made a design, our own little And I was just some really quick measurements, and check it out. Not only did we replicate it pretty quick, but we add ourselves an extra set of holes. So put it up there, of course, tried it out, cut it out on the router real quick, and got that saved. Now the only thing, everything looks good, everything's still working game, but I think I'm gonna have to add a couple of shims down here just to bring it down. But I'm gonna have to buy some longer studs, ball studs. So other than that, should be an easy fix and functional. Front end, we went ahead and installed the front little mountain piece. We just need to come up with some kind of design up here in the front, and we need to find a way to mount our rear bumper. Just like anything else, once I get a hold of something, and I think I'm getting myself really familiarized with this whole thing, this whole process, we start making parts. And it does take time, because at the end of the day, I'm still new to the designing side of things, but just being able to design that little small piece and kind of replicate what we had on there boosted up my confidence pretty good. So now I have an idea for the back bumper. We're gonna go ahead and cut the back bumper out with the laser, and then go ahead and try to come up with the design for the front piece of the front bumper. Went ahead and made 2 more, make use of this steel, and we'll have some backup bumpers. They're made to break, so they're pretty thin. Check this out. Cleaned up with some simple green. Check it out. We'll clean the back side up here a little bit, but so this will mount up to this. We use some extra stuff we had laying around for now, and then let's check it. Let's put it on. Check it out. So it's functional and lightweight. I mean, if it takes a good hit, it's gonna break, and I'd rather it break than break something else. So I think it might come out really good. Out there. So there you have it. It is finally complete. For the most part, I think we're done with all of the fabrication stuff. I'm not really too happy with the front bumper, but it's better than what we had. Now, granted, the other one still was functional stuff. We just kind of cleaned it up. Unfortunately, I did not like the way it cut with that bit, so we might have to change a bit on it. Try a different one for next time. But other than that, it works. It's there. We were able to utilize this front hose on the body, so we have to cut new ones, but we did have to cut some new ones in the back. But other than that, that's it. At least the fabrication side of it. The car is finally complete. It is a full kit. I would like to get another body for it, just to make sure if it all fits right and stuff. Cosmetically makes it look good. Up next is just finally start getting into the mechanical side of everything. Check bearings and check the transmission, take transmission apart, try to upgrade that thing, and then tires. So for right now, the shop is a mess. We utilize every bit of the shop. I will not show you because it's really bad. It's not really that bad, but it's just tools out and stuff. So as you can imagine, once we started this thing, we kind of just started going with it, and being able to utilize the laser and then to the router and make what we need, I think it's pretty cool. So the next step for the next SC mod that we cut out, all we had to do is just kind of put everything together: front bumper, shock towers, and the rear bumper mount, and that'll be all cut out in one, and then cut the chassis out, and it's pretty much a kit. So I can't wait to go testing. I got a couple of things to order, just like the extended balls for the rear camber links and stuff like that. But other than that, we're good. I'm really excited about how it turned out. I mean, I kind of just sat down and like, we have to do this, and now is the time. So I think that's gonna be it for tonight. I want everybody to thank you so much for following. We're slowly rising up on the subscribes. Please do me a favor, hit that notification, subscribe, make a comment. It all helps out the channel. I'm trying to get it to at least 1,000 next year. We got a lot of stuff coming up, a lot of ideas now that we know how to utilize this equipment. We got some cars to make for some friends, and then we got some things that we want to try out for ourselves. But for now, it's still chili bowl crunch time. So y'all stay tuned for the next video. I want to say Merry Christmas to everyone out there. Y'all be safe out there in travels. I know it's been raining all day today. So Merry Christmas. We'll see you on the next one.